Hey everyone, Temporal here, and for this session we are reviewing a Gold
Stick to the plan.
Mercy. If you
And
guys
if you
are
get into
enjoying the
trouble,
content,
I'll bail you
please
out.
do like and subscribe, as that helps out quite a bit, and I really do appreciate it.
Need
Or if you're
someone to
looking to
tuck
get
you in?
coaching yourself, you can join my Discord in the description below, see what rates look like, promos, all that good stuff.
Defend objective A. Keep an eye on your
Okay, we've got our Ryan going for the early fire strike.
You needed a doctor?
Let's rewind here. So here you are. You're backing out, which is reasonable. You take a quick check there, which is good.
You needed a doctor?
I don't know why you're still looking this way. Like, maybe you're looking for someone you can Guardian Angel away to, but there's no one there, and you immediately know there's no one there. So I would, at this point, prefer either you check here again, but probably that you check here, just so you have a better idea of what's incoming if you need to swap to anyone to move your beam. Like, you've sort of gotten the information you needed from your scouting here, so I'd like this turn back towards your team, which is which is almost what you did. Again, I'd like a little bit more eyeball on your team here. You've already done this check. Yes, knowing each instant that something isn't here has value, but it declines in value. The more recently you've looked at this flank, the less that having your eye on this flank gives you value per moment. So we would like to instead get the better value from being able to see our teammates, being able to see, hey, who's about to pop what, who's doing what. Oh, I want to make sure I'm on the right person. Now, again, don't get me wrong. It's pretty reasonable to think that boosting your Junkrat right now as people are walking through is the right thing to do. And it is. But for all you know, your Reinhardt's been burst down to 100 HP, in which case you might want to be healing him. So again, would like to be able to see a little more here. Hey! Yay, it's been an entire week since your last Mercy review and I am content deprived. Well, I hope we can fix that.
Where does it hurt?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Got that. Fine. Right idea to have your boost on the, or your heal on the Anna there preemptively. Sure.
Get here.
Staying on her a little long, there's very little reason we can't have already turned and be boosting our Junkrat again. Like, as soon as she naded herself, you knew you were going to be healing her up in no time, so we wanted to pivot. Even if we kept our beam on her while we were healing her, we wanted to pivot to look for our next target so that we could be fast to get it off.
Damage amplified. Healing stream engaged.
Could have stopped a little shorter than that. Good. The boost on the Reinhardt never really made sense there.
See through the dragon's eyes.
Your Anna sees something. That your Anna sees something is an early warning signal for you.
You needed a doctor?
Why are we staring at Hanzo? Like, staring at Hanzo just gives us Hanzo information. I'd be more interested in what's over here. It shows me, hey, I can see the choke, I can see my Junkrat. I can keep my beam on Hanzo, but I don't have to stare at Hanzo to keep my beam on him. And if Hanzo's wandered out of range and I think my beam's gonna break, that's fine. I'm still pretty cool boosting Junkrat. I don't want to be here. I got nothing good here. Yes, I've got GA off cooldown, but I don't like it.
I've got you.
Oh boy. That's just a mechanical mistake on your part.
Ich kümmere mich dich.
Your prefers GA beam off? Yeah.
Ich kümmere mich dich.
Okay. So you lost him, which is unfortunate, but you have plenty of out options, so no big deal here.
We still need you.
Good. Okay, just leave. You're done. Okay. No. What is this? I don't think your Reinhardt's got any chance. I don't think you should be up here at all. This is over. Sacrifice him. Sacrifice him so you can get away. And you've made that decision, and I'm okay with that. And then you change your mind. Was there ever really a chance? Was there ever really a chance that your teammates were going to get back before you lost that Rein? No. So you just needed to let him go. Let him go. You were never going to save your Reinhardt from this enemy power that was here.
Let's get you back out there.
Yeah, no, definitely, Lion. The player definitely changed their mind and thought that they were going to survive. But there wasn't a good reason from the state of the game. And you know the state of the game primarily from the feed. Oh, I don't have my Epic Pen open. You know the state of the game from how this feed is gone in the last 10 seconds and what the spawn distances are, that he's not going to survive. There's too many opponents there that unless they make a major mistake and just don't press up for staggers at all, they're going to get him.
Objective lost.
Right beside you.
Good.
The doctor.
Close the angle. You can keep your beam with the angle closed. I don't like how much you're keeping this angle closed. Like, even if I am boosting my Zarya, I want to keep breaking it. Like, I want to keep almost breaking it because I want to have a little more obstruction than this. I'm not good with no obstruction. I want a little bit of obstruction. Little bit of obstruction. Be that from the statue's feet or be that from the pedestal of the statue itself. I want to keep creating some obstruction because I don't want to be standing here. This just doesn't work for me. I can step up here. I can step up here to keep my beam active, but I don't stay here. Better. Yeah, you can match this.
Heroes never die. Powered up.
And you swap back to boost because he's purple. That's fine. Okay, just a touch and then back to boost, please.
I'm taking care of you.
Okay, you're going to heal.
Fire at will.
Immediately, we're going to have to go to damage, and it's probably going to be on your Hanzo, not your Zarya. So, okay, there's the dragon. You're keeping it here. Your Junkrat's up here. Yeah, I can live with that. Why? I'm with you. You still have enough Valk left to get up here. That's what I'd expect to happen. Why are you letting your Valk end in such a cruddy place? Like, your Valk is ending with you right here, Hog right here, Lucio right here. Like, you're ending Anna right here. I don't want to be here. Again, you had plenty of ability to get up here. That was fine. This is cool. Why do I want to be here? I don't want to be here at all. I don't even have any good outs from here. My Guardian Angels or Junkrat or in a second maybe a Zarya. Those, I don't like those. I don't like those. I guess you've got a Soul that you can GA to over here, but I don't like those at all. And then you GA here? I mean, they're probably not going to push you because of the dragon, but like, this is their spawn. I don't like this.
Don't stop now. Let's get you back out there.
Great. Yell for the cover. Yell for the cover. Not yelling for the cover. Good. Drift left. Drift left. You were thinking about drifting onto the bus, and then you decide to GA up here. So, here you are. You're drifting left to the bus, which is appropriate, and then you decide, no, I want to be close to this fight. Why do you feel the need to be close to this fight? Why? Like, it's true you guys are winning, but I don't really want to be here. You can swap to that. Like, you could have stopped short and been here and still had the option to tuck, and you could have kept your latch on the Junkrat. That would have been fine. You could have tried to... I mean, you couldn't really super jump it from where you were. Okay. Now you're going to super jump and get to here. That's better. You're on Striker. Striker is him. You can't actually boost this. You should be boosting Junk. Yep. Touch slow on the pivot there. Okay. and you're gonna have to let him go. I probably wouldn't drift down here. I'd just be willing to drift literally behind this. Remember, your beam will stay on them even when there's something in the way for more than a second. Like, it's a pretty long time that you can go, I'm gonna drop here. And if I just got hit by a Hanzo arrow, I don't want to step here because I might get hit by another Hanzo arrow. Now, turns out you won't get hit by another Hanzo arrow, and maybe you know that. Maybe you're perfectly where the Hanzo is, but I can't guarantee that you're not going to get hit by Lucio spam or an Ana shot from here. So I'd have preferred to tuck more directly relative to the opposing team behind this. And you at least sort of try to drift back, but you overdrift. Yeah. Little slow to swap to boost on the Zarya. Back to heal there is fine. Slow to grab the Junkrat.
Let's get you back in the fight.
Messed up your super jump,
Where does it hurt?
which doesn't cost you anything, so not a big deal. I'm just commenting that it's there. Are you going to take high ground again?
Damage increase.
Okay, you can boost your Hanzo, that's fine with me, but are you going to look back forward as you're boosting your Hanzo to see what's going on? Good. Back to damage, yep. This depends on your APM. The reason that so here we go. Fine, you're here, no problem. You can't actually heal him, and you know you can't heal him. The real reason that you have your beam here, and then you go to damage boost, and I don't mind you being on damage boost, but the real reason you're on damage boost on Rein right now is because you desperately want to be healing him. Like, don't get me wrong, the swing's not bad, but now it's over. Now it's over, and it's clear he's not going to get another swing. So you would like to move this beam to damage boost on Hanzo. You'd like to damage boost on Hanzo, and then you'd immediately like to flick your crosshair to back over your Reinhardt, so you can immediately start healing your Reinhardt as soon as this purple ends. We don't need to pre-heal this, and we don't need to be damage boosting a Reinhardt who isn't likely to get another swing. We'd rather be damage boosting our Hanzo. And we can micro this pretty tightly. We just have to believe how fast we can move with our stuff. And we can believe how fast we can move this, like we can get faster flicks between our targets by understanding, hey, I'm literally thinking a second ahead of time. I'm literally thinking about, I want this, and then I'm going to want this. I'm not going to be late to this. I'm going to move over here, blue beam this, move my crosshair back here, and be pre-aimed at this. And these can be fast flicks, just like a McCree or a Widowmaker would make. These can be fast flicks. They do not have to be slow drags. Again, why am I on damage strike here? Even if he's fire striking, I don't care. I've got a Hanzo as an option. I can be damage boosting Hanzo and staring at Reinhardt in case I need to heal him. That's what I can be doing.
I've got you.
Good stop short. Turn around. Good.
Where does it hurt? You should be at peak performance. Heroes never die.
Yeah, this is solid. Potentially don't need it, but solid. It's fine. Okay.
This is not your time.
Really? You go for the Zarya there?
Surrender to my will. This is not your time.
Yeah. That's not more efficient.
Let's get you back out there.
My ultimate is ready.
I would like some frames back, computer. Please give me some frames for Overwatch. Thank you. Why?
Ultimate is ready.
Is it because you want the super jump that bad? No, that super jump was never going to work. Maybe you were trying to super jump, but you were kind of far forward to get off your super jump up to here. And by far forward, I just mean that's the reality of where the person was positioned, and it was taking you into danger. So if you were trying to super jump, I really just think it was probably too far for that. So what you wanted to do instead was cancel your Guardian Angel and tuck in here, where you can still see everyone, you can still pick everyone, but you have the option to go behind your cover. Or you could have gone, hey, again, I'm going to cancel, and I'm going to walk my way over here, as much as we hate walking on Mercy.
You should be at peak performance level.
You should have been faster on that swap.
You should be at peak performance level.
Here you are. He's not a great damage boost target right now, so it's a little questionable, but so be it. He's already missing health. You can already be healing him, and you know he's going to take a bunch of damage from this. This is a thing that you can afford to pre-heal. Even if he was full health, you would not expect him to be full health, because you'd expect him to be taking damage from having been pulled in to an angle for red team to shoot at him more easily. And then, of course, even if he was at full health, you know he's about to take a bunch of damage, and he can't swing. He's going to take damage before he's allowed to swing, so just hold the heal beam on him. If you want to get really greedy, you could try to damage boost someone else if he was at full health, and then switch to him in time by going, hey, I do that, and then I aim at him, and I'm ready to swap immediately. But I'd really just be perfectly fine and prefer that you just hold heal beam on him.
I'm here.
Is this going to be the pistol right into Reaper's head from above? Okay.
Damage amplified.
My dragon strike is ready. Let the dragon consume you.
Good chunk healed a little. Fine. Stayed on heal a little long on chunk.
Heilstrahl aktiviert.
I could see what was happening the whole time. Okay, so here you are. You're already thinking about going to Junkrat, and that's a little dicey. And you then continue, and like, you need, as much as it sucks, you need to boost Moira. You need to boost Moira to pressure Reaper to coming and joining Moira. You like have to boost Moira to put pressure on the Reaper to go, oh, shoot, my Lucio, I might lose my Lucio, I might lose this 1v2 to get the Reaper to come. And then, hopefully you do get the Lucio, but then you go, okay, Moira, you're on your own, and you go in for the res after Reaper is sort of left. But you have to be thinking about, how am I actually going to get this res? And I can't get this res right now, but I might be able to get this res in 1 to 2 seconds if I put pressure, if I put situational pressure on him. Not like this. Yeah, it's unfortunate. That Lucio should have been gone. That Lucio would have been gone, as you can see. Like, again, if we look at this situation, that Lucio has 50 health. Damage boost? Absolutely. That Lucio has 40 health. That Lucio has 27 health. Yeah, if you've got some damage boost on the Moira, that Lucio is going to get eliminated.
Get into position.
You can try to micro a little more around his swings with your damage boost just right as his swing is going to connect, hit it, but not a big deal. Not a super? Why is that not a super? Because you're trying to get the res? Yeah. That should have been a super.
60 seconds remaining.
A clean bill of health. Let me get you patched up. Let me get you.
Here you are.
Let me get you patched up.
Kind of out in the open. I'm not sure why you ever would have thought this was a good place. You might have thought this was a good place and then changed your mind and left with this happening. Oh well. You're not going to GA past the Moira? Okay. They attempted to super jump res earlier a few seconds. Yeah, I saw that. I saw. But they still wanted to super jump there at the end when I was talking about when the Reaper and Lucio were still alive and after their Reinhardt was gone, just because it was better survivability. Like, they still wanted to do it, even though res was now off the table. Play left, play left, play left! Don't play in the middle, don't play in the middle, don't play... Match him left. Fine.
Damage boost engaged.
My ultimate is ready. Aim opposed.
Damage increase. Fire at will.
Let the dragon consume you.
Walihum with it.
Tuck right. Why are you in the middle of the line? Okay.
Let me get you patched up.
Walihum with it.
Why do you think you can stand here? Like, the dragon's helping, but the dragon's not actually cover. It just messes with the opponent's sight and scares them off a little bit. Why do you think you can be here rather than playing a little more of a here where you have the option of hiding behind the planter? So you go here. This dragon's almost gone. This is a nano opponent. I don't know why you think you can res this. I don't know why you ever would have gotten this close even if you weren't trying to res. Like, you wouldn't get this close to try to heal this. You'd go, it's been nice knowing you. You're on your own. No. Needlessly putting your life in danger. Okay. Please get behind the cover. Good. Okay. Please reestablish your beam. I'm not sure why you let your beam drop there. So I am a big fan of healing around corners, and sometimes when you're healing around corners, you are going to drop your beam. But your beam will last for like 1.2 seconds even with the corner here. So like, you just repeat to establish it, and then you have another 1.2 second timer, and you repeat to establish it. And if every once in a while you actually let it drop, because you don't actually want to like peek into a Hanzo that sees what you're doing, and you don't want to peek in and get logged, that's fine. But again, you can go up, I'm going to let it drop for a moment. Or maybe I'm going to switch it and boost my Hanzo back here or whatever, even though who I really want is here. But I don't know why you were looking over here for so long. 1.3 seconds. Yeah, it's 1.2, 1.3. That's right. I believe it's 1.3.
Let's get you back in the fight.
I cast this forth.
Right beside you. Damage increase.
Okay. Why are you here? What does being here get you? As opposed to being over here? Yeah, you've got some vulnerability to that up there, but like here, oh look, I can see more of my teammates at once, and I have better cover against the main sight line of my opponents. I don't want to be here. I much prefer to be here. Yes, I can see a little more, but I don't care about seeing more opponents. Should tracking Moira's orb cooldown and trying to damage boost it be a priority? A low one. A pretty darn low one. It raises a little bit if you see she's throwing damage orbs on cooldown, but it's not something that should be taking up a lot of brain space. It can certainly be done, don't get me wrong, but it doesn't need to be taking up a lot of brain space.
Heroes never die.
Yeah, I don't like this. So your Junkrat's down. Your Hanzo's back here. And these guys might be committed in 2 seconds, but they're not committed right now, and they've already dropped their Winston bubble. I'm okay waiting until these guys actually commit. Because I'm not willing to yell at my team to push this, so I'm okay waiting until these guys at least get up to like here, get more committed than they are. we can tighten up this Valk. Like, this is a
30
please don't
seconds
push Valk,
remaining.
and I don't like that. Yeah. I mean, you kind of deserved that. Your beam reach is plenty. Your beam reach is plenty in Valk. You could have gone up here, no problem. No problem whatsoever. And given yourself, you know, additional obstruction. You could have tucked in here if you wanted. You instead played here where, yeah, there's a way to get you.
30 seconds remaining.
Healing.
10 seconds
Don't let
remaining.
up. It's almost over.
There you go. Support superiority. Unfortunate.
My ultimate is ready.
The payload is approaching its destination.
This is just junk time. Okay. So we've got some things we can work on. I would like us to be a little more abusive with the beam through walls, beam around corners thing. Like, I would like us to be a little more abusive with that to create additional layers of safety for ourselves. I would also like us to do a little bit more in terms of really just faster crosshair movement, like faster flicks. And one of the ways that you're going to get to faster flicks, like Mercy doesn't have to be slow. One of the ways that you're going to get to faster flicks is you're going to go, I'm on this target, my beam is on this target, but I'm staring at this target with my crosshair that I'm going to expect to have to react to. Like, I put my beam here where it's useful, but my eyeballs are looking right at this target, and I'm ready to react to what I see is happening, like them getting hooked, like you know, them backing away and me knowing that they're going to get pushed again, like them being about, you know, me thinking that, hey, their cooldown is about to come off, that is cooldown that is going to want me to swap to them. So I'd like a little bit more beams on one person, I'm staring at another, or I'm doing something more interesting. Those are the two things that are really here right now. We also have a little bit in terms of the defensiveness of your position. Now, that's really, like I'm saying, around this corners, and that's really tied to things like this as well, where please just don't be in the middle like this. And then again, try to keep more allies on your screen. Sometimes you do a good job of that, but other times you're like, I'm staring over here. And I want you to check these things. And you can even check them frequently. You could check them every 3 seconds if you wanted, but you got to have fast mouse movement if that's what you're doing. And I'd really like to actually speed up your mouse movement a little bit in general. Like, I'd really like to get you a little faster with, I'm looking over here. Okay, my Rhine got pulled. I'm looking at him. Oh, I'm back on this. I'm looking at this, etc. Like, a little bit faster with some of that mouse movement. Some of that will come from faster decision making, which is fine. Some of that will come from thinking ahead a little bit more, but some of that is going to come for just break your habit of, I have a certain speed at which, you know, I sort of look at things. Like, you can hit flicks. You can hit flicks just like a McCree or a Widow or a Reaper or whatever would. Okay, let's move on.
I'll be watching
Ready
over
for
you.
battle.
I'm on it.
Attackers incoming in 30 seconds.
You know, smoking's bad for your health.
Well, I have faith you can get me patched back up now.
I'm sorry, Reinhardt. After everything that's happened, I needed time.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming. Defend objective A.
Be careful out there.
Okay. Ooh, I wouldn't have gone for that GA.
Be at peak performance level.
That GA gave you a timing issue, which you're now running into. Yeah. Nope, you didn't miss all of it, Blah. Welcome to the stream.
Taking care of
Check. Good.
I'm taking
Here you are. Already boost Echo or Zarya. Whoever you can get your crosshair on, good. Don't need to really check there again, though it doesn't really bother me. I don't know why you went no beam here. I don't know why that beam dropped. Again, I can stare at the McCree that I'd like to heal, but I can't heal him yet, so I'll keep my damage beam on this Echo. I'll keep my damage beam on the Echo until the McCree that I want to heal is actually healable, and then, because my crosshair's on them, I can immediately swap. Though, tactic-wise, that's not even right. Our McCree's in less danger, and we don't need to get him back into the action, so we just keep our boost on Echo, and then we'd swap to heals as soon as that same purple wore off. But, concept. Okay, why are we still on heals? Okay.
Healing stream engaged.
Yeah, boosting the Echo is going to do the most to stop these guys from following you. You're really going a little too much for tiny bits of heals on the Echo, tiny bits of heals on the McCree and the Ana. The first bit of healing on the McCree and the Echo, absolutely, but you're continuing with like tiny bits of heals on them when putting damage boost on the Echo will actually prevent more damage because it'll make it harder for these guys to pursue. They'll be under more pressure and they'll go, ooh, I don't like that. It hurts.
Your support has arrived.
Welcome back, Mr. Scarf. You don't look very tanned from your watching the Whales cruise. That's not what I did. That's not what I did.
Let's get you back out there. You should be at peak performance levels.
Most of my time, in fact, was spent driving. I had to drive down to Southern California and then drive back. That's, probably 17, 18 hours I spent in the car. So, that happens.
Let me get you patched up. Damage amplified.
Thank you.
It's a really fast flight. It's really not, though, because going from NorCal to SoCal, like, the flight itself is only a couple hours, but when you factor in being there an hour ahead of time and then figuring out what your transportation is going to be on the other end, you're looking at, like, okay, I'm going to spend 3.5 to 4 hours on this flight stuff, and then I'm going to have to solve transportation, costs, mobility, etc. on the other end. Would it have been net faster? Yes. Yes, it would have. But we're also talking about having been flying on Memorial Day, some other things like that. Not amazing. Not amazing. Yes, I'm familiar, Blah. I know.
Mercy in Bereitschaftsdienst. Damage increased.
It's like an hour from San Jose to LAX. I had that as a leg when flying home from SJC. Oh, got it. Okay. So, no, it's not that bad. It's the actual flight is not at all bad. I agree.
Where does it hurt? Powered up.
It is a large city. Well, it's, urban sprawl forever. Okay, let's get back to focusing on our Mercy here. Boosting your McCree into the super jump. I don't really know that you want to be up here, but okay. So again, you can be on these people, but look a little more forward. Yep.
Where does it hurt?
Great. And there's your Echo, and your Echo's got the better angle, so let's swap to her.
Powered up.
I don't know why you dropped.
Where does it hurt?
Echo and Tuck. Echo and Tuck. And you can float your way back. Your Mercy. You have that space bar or whatever you've bound it to.
Powered up.
Okay. That's unfortunate. I'm not convinced at all you should have lost your Echo. No, you're not going to get the res off. Just don't bother. Just don't bother. More appropriately support your team. From here, you still have plenty of good support options. You can go, hey, I'm going to boost this. I'm going to protect this. You can Guardian Angel over into here, which would be a real best thing to do, and go, I am going to enable these two over here because Anna has, you know, this under control. This would be a real best thing to do, but you just have to accept that at least until some pressure is put on this Hanzo or this Anna is forced to drop, you're not getting that res off. I say that. Maybe you could have. The bubble was available.
You should be at peak performance.
Yeah, that's without the bubble available, that's just not gonna work. And you hadn't forced like a sleep, a nade, Hanzo arrows. This res was not happening. Like you really needed one of these guys down and the bubble, or you needed one of these guys to drop and pressure to be on the other for there to be a prayer there. And you didn't need the res. Like, that's the other thing. You look at this, and it's like, do I need this res to win this fight? No, your team's winning this fight. Your team is winning this fight just fine. It's unfortunate over there that, you know, we see this, but your team is winning this fight just fine. I don't need this. I don't need this at all. I can just go here and be boosting my Reaper, be boosting my Reinhardt, be boosting my Zarya from here, be back here, be boosting my McCree. Be in here, be boosting my McCree. Like, I have so many good options that don't involve the res because I don't need the res to win the fight at all. In fact, one of the only ways to lose the fight is for me to get eliminated and put this fight back in question. I think your team is still going to be fine. That's on you. Like, that's on you, unfortunately. This should have been a 5v3. It dropped to a 4v3, and then they were able to drop a bunch of ults into it. And you had the Valk to once again turn this to... Yeah. But blah, the place I wasn't right on top of LA or San Jose. It wasn't necessarily right on top of an airport. So yes, I could have Ubered, but I would have been Ubering a fair distance, and then I needed the ability to move a fair bit after getting to my location. Which factored into my decision to drive. Okay, so we're waiting. Please don't, please don't. Oh, team. Okay. So we're going to immediately boost our Echo. Boost our Echo. I don't know why we're healing Moira. That's not boosting Echo.
Don't stop now.
That's fine. That push was always doomed.
Right beside you.
That'll get it done.
You should be at peak performance level. Let me get you patched up.
Routine activated.
Glory, my friend.
60 seconds remaining.
Damage increase.
This will heal you.
Heroes never die.
Crusaders!
We're going through here. We have a roughly even fight. Your positioning isn't great. You'd wanted to Valk, like, in the last second or two, sure.
Heroes never die.
Now you're trying to Valk to get back into this. Like, your team's positioning is garbage, and you're trying to Valk to save the hog. And that's not what we do. We want to Valk when we're going to immediately be able to get a bunch of damage boost value out of the Valk, which is not the case. Two of your prime damage targets are back here. And even if they were closer up, you know you'd be using a bunch of your Valk to try to stabilize this hog, etc. And the most powerful damage boost portion of your Valk tends to be at the beginning of it. We don't like this.
Damage amplified. This is not the end.
Okay, this has got a chance now. Yeah, I really would have liked the Valk just a second or two before you did it, when your hog was in better shape. But hey, it works out. And, you know, I don't want you to hold Valk forever, so I'm not going to be too critical. But a second or two earlier would have been nice.
I'm on fire.
A captured. Escort the payload.
Payload's moving.
Mobility increased.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Tuck the corner, tuck the corner,
Healing stream engaged.
tuck the corner, good.
Para reporting.
Damage boost engaged. Damage boost engaged.
It's very brave to fly into the Hanzo. Yes, yes it was. Okay, you have a hog there. Why are you in here? I don't understand why you'd try to go in here. Your Mercy. You don't go in flank routes on your own. You could have stayed with your Kree. You could have backed out. And even if this Reaper showed up here when you were trying to stare at your McCree through the wall, or when you were like this, that's no problem because you get out. The only reason you're in any trouble is because you were thinking about going, like, not just checking it, but going... Mouse? What the heck? Okay. No, that's just not going to work. The only reason you were in anything resembling trouble here is because you... Stop it. We're thinking about going in here. Like, that's the only reason you're in anything resembling trouble here. Yep. And then your window closed.
I'm taking care of this.
Vevwork was forced by timer. I was waiting for a better position, but it never happened. As in last fight status. There, I'll go back.
Heroes never die.
Not really. You've got another fight here if you have to. You're at 45 seconds left. Again, I don't mind this Valk. I actually would have preferred this Valk. I mind this Valk a little bit because you're missing too much of the follow-up. And your hog is too weak. I'd have actually said, forget it, you're not getting a good enough one, leave these two behind. They'll sort of be in the fight, they'll have angles, etc. But like 2 seconds earlier means that you get to at least be damage boosting, as opposed to just trying to pressure heal hog here.
30 seconds.
Our time runs short.
The payload's moving.
Not yet.
Healing stream engaged.
Para reporting.
Damage boost engaged.
Okay.
I'm taking care of you.
Why? Why did we Guardian Angel so far here? Are you trying to slingshot your way across? You don't really have the greatest momentum for that.
Damage increased.
Yeah. That was about as far as you can surf it, and it wasn't really far enough, but okay. For an immediate swap to there. And then you swap to damage boost. Yep, well done. I don't even care that you lost him. That was executed properly.
This is not your time.
Start on the heals, swap over to the damage boost as he gets to a point where it's reasonable for him to pull it.
Let me get you patched up.
Mm-hmm.
The payload has reached the checkpoint.
I see him, but why are you just staring at him? Like, you need to flick to another ally that you can look at to boost. Why are you just staring at him? Interesting.
Escorting the payload. Let's keep it moving.
Okay. Turn faster. Like, you saw that he's eliminated. You know there's nothing else back here. Short, stop, immediately 180. Immediately 180, just to check what's going on. Okay,
I'm
fine.
taking care of you.
Not yet.
You're going to scoot left to avoid this. You're going to check left. You're going to get your beam on someone, and then you're going to check left? No.
I've
Okay.
got you. Schaden versteckt. Don't let up on that.
Payload moves towards our desired outcome.
The battle continues.
Great.
The
You don't have Guardian or any great targets. Yeah, okay. I mean, if you'd stepped back instead of to the side, you'd have gotten out, but it's a small reaction. No.
Cannot be stopped.
Win next fight with Valk, win game.
The payload stopped.
This will improve.
Hey Jason, I'm doing well, thank you. Good.
Where does it hurt? You should be at peak performance levels.
Good. I see very little reason for that 180 not to be faster.
You should be at peak performance levels.
Again, it's not like it was actually critical in this moment that you went from looking this way to circling back to looking this way faster than you did in this moment. It wasn't actually critical. It was perfectly fine at this speed. But I don't want this speed to become a habit, because there's very little reason that you can't go at a faster speed than this when it comes to this. And I don't want you to get stuck at my pace for Mercy is this, because that can naturally cap you out. And it shouldn't. I don't want that to just become a, well, this is how she's played thing.
I'm taking care of you. Wait. Cover me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm here.
Why are you still in heals? Okay.
Is my will. I need
That was an interesting follow, to be honest. Like, she was very safe up there.
Heroes never die.
Okay. No. I'm not challenging the Reaper with 36 health during my Valk. I'm not doing it.
Vortex Crusader.
I require healing.
Specifically a purple 36 health.
You needed a doctor?
Mm-hmm.
This is not the end. Enemy contact.
Why?
This is not the end. Enemy.
Cool. My Reinhardt is perfectly fine. I'm boosting McCree. I'm boosting McCree. I'm still boosting McCree. Still boosting McCree. Okay.
I'm taking care of you.
Healing Ryan when your McCree didn't have an angle. Perfectly fine. Quick check for info. You're going to boost past Reinhardt while you've got the chance? No, you're not. Okay. Works for me.
60 seconds remaining.
I don't think you need to round this corner at all. I don't see a great reason for you to be here. This was totally a GA cancel from here, and you'll just go, yep, I'll do it. I'll drift. If I have to drift a little into the open, so be it. But I see very little reason for you to be out here.
Step right up.
Mm-hmm. Tree messing up observation is your best chance right now. And you're gonna swap to heals.
Where does it end?
No.
Nope. Nope. This is over. Just get yourself reset. Don't try to survive. Get yourself reset. Let's just time off the clock. Thank you, Jason. I will enjoy. Oh, you enjoy my content. Excellent. I'm glad.
Join me.
Immer unterbricht mich jemand bei
You
der
do lots of
Arbeit.
really scary things as Mercy. Yeah, there's some scary things that happen here as Mercy.
Now or we lose.
Thoughts on body blocking for McCree during Barrage or McCree during Deadeye and Farah during Barrage? Is it worth learning? Mostly no. From a Truman Max perspective, is there a very slight advantage to it? Yes, but the reality is mostly no. Yeah. It's just really not worth very much in terms of how often it's going to make the difference is so incredibly rare. Yeah.
Get into position. I need to recharge.
Let's get to that outcome.
It's fine.
10 seconds remaining.
Engage.
Just wait. Tell her, try to pull her back. Don't get caught. Don't get caught. Better.
Healing stream engaged. Ich bin da.
You don't wanted to wait until you had a slightly better thing, until your Hanzo was here, and then you guys sort of wanted to push, but you can't control her. Okay. So, you do take a few too many risks. I would like you to value your own life, value your own sight lines a little bit more. And the biggest way I want you to do that is, like, I want you to get out of the middle. I want you to stop some of these guardian angels in ways that you end up behind cover rather than going in here. Like, I want you to be more aware of cover, and I want you to be more willing to go up. I'm healing you around a corner. Maybe I can see you from here, and you can see the opponents, and that's fine. Or maybe you're out here where I have to have my beam on you for my there, but then I can abuse my 1.3 seconds. I might only use 0.7 of those seconds before I peek again. I might use 1 second before I peek again. I might let it wait 1.4, 1.5 seconds and let it fall off and then reestablish beam. Like, I might do any of those things, but I want you doing less of this, doing less of guardian angeling into the middle, and doing more, hey, I have cover against the opponents, I can see things, I don't need to see my opponents, and I don't need to follow people into the open. So, like, this is the biggest thing. Let's abuse cover, let's abuse her beam through walls if we have to, if my teammate is being silly up here and that's forcing me to be here, I'm not really sure I care. I can abuse that beam traction in much the same way to step back and go like this, and my beam will let me stretch it a little. It won't let me stretch it forever, but it'll let me stretch it a little for a little bit. So I really want to see more of that. I want to see more preserving of your own life. I went over this in a lot of places. Another place I went over this was the statue, where it's, hey, I don't want you standing here where you can get shot at. I want you using the pedestal as better cover. I want you using the legs as better cover. Even if they're not perfect cover, I want you using them as better cover. Even if you have to step back up here to keep it active, even if you have to step over here to keep it active, I want you to then drop with this fully in the way. Not to one side, with this fully in the way. Is your beam having to go through a wall? Yep, it is. And that's totally fine. So I want more value on your own life, and one of the ways that we're going to get that is we're going to abuse the beam through walls. We're going to abuse getting greater than normal beam distance, and we're going to abuse that by the fact that the beam stays for an additional 1.3 seconds after we've broken line of sight there. That's something that we want to do. That's going to help you stay alive a bit more. I also want you to get faster with your crosshair, and I'm going to say that in two ways. Like, one, I just want you to move your crosshair faster. Like, actually just try to move the crosshair faster when you know what the next step is. Sometimes you're capped out on judgment speed, and you being capped out on judgment speed, perfectly fine. We're using human brains, not supercomputers. We only make decisions so fast, but I do want to make sure that on some of these things, the barrier that you're running into is your judgment speed and not a artificial, I've set this as the pace that I move my mouse around the screen. And you move your mouse around the screen faster than I'm moving my mouse around the screen right now, but this is just an example. This is just an, example of how you're using a relatively stable speed when there's times where it's absolutely, I know what the next move is and I can absolutely do the next move. And the other way that we're going to get to this is we're going to go, I know that this person is going to be in trouble, but I can't help them yet. They're purple. They're out of range of the opponent. They're whatever. I know this is the next person I want to use my beam on, so I'm queuing it. I have my beam on this person over here, but my eyeballs are looking at this person, and I'm going to be ready. I'm going to be ready to switch that beam immediately. So some of this is going to be, hey, we're going to just try to move our mouse a little faster when it comes to our flicks in some situations. Again, if we're capped on process speed, that's fine, but I want to make sure that it's true, that it's not a case of us being capped on mouse speed, because you can absolutely move your mouse faster than this. I don't want it to be an artificial whoop. I formed a bad habit of this is how fast I move my mouse. So there's that, but there's also the, I can preemptively be, I'm on this and I'm staring at the person, and when the situation changes to what I know it's going to change to, I'm going to then immediately be able to click them with the appropriate beam. So I want a little bit more predictiveness, a little bit of, I have the beam on this person, I know what the next action I have to do is. Like, oh, my hog hooked someone, or my hog is throwing out this hook. I might now be staring at my hog, but I'm still holding right click on my McCree until it's time to right click my hog. Or we saw a bunch of situations with the Reinhardt. We saw a bunch of situations with where people got purpled. Those are things that I'd want you to work on. I'm giving you two things here. The first is to value your life more and to abuse these covers, abuse the 1.3 second of healing through cover, boosting through cover, etc. And also just not following people as much into the open, being a little more aware of what can I use, less, cancel your shift early if you have to. And then the second thing is, again, sort of two-tiered, where it's make sure that we're willing to flick our mouse faster to get to things when it makes sense. Like a 180 should be a practiced fluid motion for you, that just doesn't take time. And then also be looking to think a little bit more about, this person is going to need me to do something for them next. Maybe that's because a cooldown's coming up. And you know it. Maybe that's because they're purple and you're waiting. Maybe that's because they have a range limitation like your Reinhardt, but they're about to get pushed. Maybe that's because the Echo is about to open her angle and you want to be boosting her when she opens her angle, but for now, your Hog or your Zarya right-clicking is the better target, and you'll swap to them the instant that they open that angle. But for now, you're holding your right-click on the Zarya, the Hog, that's also in range, that doesn't require you to GA to move between the two. Those are the two things. I've sort of broken them into two each, so maybe four, but those are really the two concepts that I want you working on your Mercy right now. We could get a little more critical of your Valkyrie stuff. We can, like I said, break these concepts down a little further, but I think that's going to do a good job of, hey, here's a couple things to work on. I do not want you to try to do everything at once. I want it one thing at a time, and with that 5 to 15% of your brain power. This isn't new to you. We've talked through some of this. We've talked through how to improve before, how to do the, I'm working on one thing. I'm specifically working on my positioning. I'm specifically working on not guardian angeling in too far. I'm specifically working on one thing at a time, 5 to 15% of your brain power. And then once you feel like it's locked in, it's automatic, then you move on. And as long as it doesn't deteriorate too much, then you can have really moved on to the next thing there. If it does deteriorate a lot when you move on, drop the next thing, go back to the first thing, and really try to focus on it a little harder this time, because it means you were sort of autopiloting it too much, and you weren't actually focusing on ingraining it in your gameplay well enough. Never thought I would have to practice flicks on Mercy. I mean, she's still got a crosshair, and your crosshair, yeah, it's like your ability to properly flick fast between two targets, to flick to get out of there, to and ultimately to hit accurate flicks to pick between your McCree, who is standing here with this cowboy hat, and the Pharah who's right here. Okay, and the Pharah who's right here, like those are pretty close on your screen. And maybe there's even a Winston right here. Like, oh, can you get the right target, etc. That matters. And I'm not saying you're struggling to get the right target. I just want to make sure it's not a, oh, well, let me move at this speed, etc. Because you will see you will see, like, if I think there's a good Diamond, maybe Masters Mercy review I've seen here. I mean, it doesn't matter. You don't have to pick the one that I've got. I think one of the early ones on my channel is a pretty good example of it, where their APM is just going to make yours look slow as molasses by comparison. And if you really watch a lot of GM Mercies, you're going to see that they are much faster with it. Like, it is a, hey, I've got to keep my APM up. Hey, I've got to do some of this stuff. You don't want to sink into a pattern and artificial cap here. And, yours isn't the limit on you yet, but we need to keep raising this. Okay. If there's questions, go ahead and throw them up in chat now. If you guys are watching this not live, you are watching this as a video, that's fantastic and I appreciate it. But if you would like to be able to ask me questions like these people in chat are able to do so, the best way to catch me live is to join my Discord, and in there you will see a channel called Get Notifications, and if you react, you will get the watcher role from that channel, and then you'll always get a ping when I go live. It's way more reliable and way more time accurate than the YouTube notifications. You can still press that bell on YouTube, I appreciate that, but if you really want the good stuff, you want the instant, consistent notification when I go live, so you can catch me to ask me questions, to hopefully get me to answer them in chat. Best way to do that, through the Discord, get role, react for that role, and then you'll know when I go live, and you can come ask me questions. Okay, and if you guys are just here enjoying the content, appreciate that too. Please do like and subscribe. Really does help me out, and that's awesome. It's worse to run Mercy in a comp. Is it worse to run Mercy in a comp where it really doesn't make sense? Lucio, Rein Zarya, double flanker, or switch to another support I'm far worse at? Play what you're good at and feel free to work or play what you want to work on. So even if you've got Rein Zarya, perfectly fine to play Mercy if that's what you're trying to work on. I'm not going to have an issue. And you're probably going to have people, even if you have a Rein and a Zarya, that, are not playing in the greatest places for you. Your McCree is probably going to go do some off-angling, and you can use him. Or maybe you have an Echo, and you can go play with them. It's not perfect from a team synergy standpoint. It's not great. But if you want to be working on your Mercy, work on your Mercy. Comp is mostly for working on your gameplay. It's not for, oh, I really have to win every single game. You're not going to be able to win every single game. It will find your limit and it'll put you there. And if you want to increase your limit, the trick is to get better. And we do tend to get better at things when we focus on them. That's why I say focus with 5 to 15% of your brain power on this specific thing, even if it starts costing you wins. Well, it's much the same way when it comes to this. You can't work on improving on 3 or 4 heroes at once and really be doing as good a job as you could if you were just working on one hero or maybe 2 heroes. That said, Lucio Mercy is tough to play. So if there's a second hero you're working on, specifically a second hero that works well when your teammate is playing Lucio, or that you already have when your teammate is playing Lucio, you might want to because it'll save you some headaches. But don't feel any serious pressure to. Nice, thanks for the review. Glad you enjoyed it. In the long run, you want to get good at a bigger variety of heroes. Yes. In the long run, you should get good at a bigger variety of heroes. And when you're pursuing new SR peaks, when you're going, hey, I need to prove to a contenders team or an L team that I want to get picked up, so I need to press up and get a 4,700 plus peak, yeah, you would absolutely keep swapping heroes. Or if you're going, hey, I've been training hard these last 2 seasons, I want to push up and break from gold to plat, from plat to diamond, from silver to gold, and I'm going to intentionally do that. You've said, this is my goal, and I want to realize the gains of some of these improvements that I've made because I've been working hard on this, then you would go, okay, I'm going to use the 2, the 3, the whatever heroes that I've been practicing on that I'm comfortable with, and I'm going to use them as makes sense, and all my brain power is going to play aim tactics. It's not going to improvement right now. Now, that's a short-term boost. I mean, it should get you there, and you should be able to hold that, but you might then start seeing some gains some losses when you start working on stuff again before you see greater gains, etc. That's how you're looking to do that. You like that way of looking at things? Good. Lots of heroes play similarly, like once you master Mercy, it's trivial to switch to Hog and get tons of value out of him. Okay. Okay. From Mercy to Hog. I mean, there's some things that they have in common. Sure, sure. Okay, I think that's going to do it for this one. I am now going to grab some food because it is past lunchtime and I am hungry. But I will have some more stuff for you guys today. And I don't see anything else question-wise, so that's going to do it. Again, if you're enjoying, please do like and subscribe. Helps me out a lot. And with that, I'm going to call it. Thanks.